And just as we start this session off today, here at CTM, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered today. We're going to do our best to cover all of them. We did do a good job in making sure when there was a big technical breakdown that we, or those who wanted to, understood with the greatest clarity that I myself was taking profits and getting neutral and why. And that is why we do what we do. It's not because we have some type of thesis that like it's all or nothing and that's got to play out. No. You remember those 2 words? Be fluid. 4 words, adapt to the market. That is what we do. Now, it really is helpful to have some type of thesis you're able to stick to out there when the seas get rough, you want to make sure that you're heading towards your target. There's no question about that. And we could return to basics, first principles, and we could do that later on. Right now, let's just affirm that we did this exceptionally well, right? Were there others out there? Of course there were. I focus on what we do. All right. So next, was this the bottom? And we'll look at market structure in a little bit and is price finding support. I don't know. And I'll be honest with you. I do hope that we come back down and test that bottom portion of that range. I want to take a look at something that those have been with us, going back, pre and around March 2020 liquidity crisis. And you all know, including when we had the liquidity crisis, I kept this line over here showing the structure of the market. And it wasn't just then. Called this an anomaly. This is on a linear. This is on log. I want to talk about both of them with you really quick right here. Well, not so quick, but I want to talk about both of them with you. When we broke down over here, I called that an anomaly, and I kept waiting for us 2 things. This is all on video for us to get back above that line. And then when we confirm that line back into that broken resistance, back into support. Why is that important? Because as we were going forward, and once we started making the previous cycle all-time high, I kept using the structure of the market with these lines for a little while. Do you remember that here together we were watching and seeing it? And then I just stopped and I leaned into price and price alone. And then the structure of the 4-year cycle. But you could see that this is still the structure of the market, including these 2 peaks over here and all the way through. So I went ahead and I made it a little bit neater. And I just going off that same structure and then including down over here when we had the July 2020 low. This is the structure of what is taking place. And when you're looking at not on log like this, and by the way, I did say if we get below the green, right, we're right around the green and into that blue, that's an accumulation area for me. When you're looking at on the log over here, and this is forget going back 12 years, 9 years. This is only looking at recent history, right? And you could see that, this is so far the top of the range. This is the bottom of the range. This is somewhere in the middle of the range. Do I want to be a buyer as we're towards the bottom of the range over here? I myself do. And, you all know that I am flexible in what I do, meaning that I didn't plan during the bull market phase to be buying more spot Bitcoin. And after we had this massive crunch down over here, 50%, by the way, a 50% drawdown from the last all-time high, that's taking us somewhere around, it's I think important to have that, is somewhere around is at $34,000, but more importantly, into that massive supply over here. Is that possible? Not only, that is possible, and anything's possible. We all know that, right? So if just because this is the bottom of the range, potentially down over here where this is circled, that does not mean you cannot go lower, right? Understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what your risks are all times. For me, at this particular time, I am looking to purchase more spot Bitcoin. Now, that's why I do hope that we happen to, or that if we get the opportunity to test down lower in this range, maybe even take out the stops that are there right now. Do I think that we go lower? I hope we don't go lower than that last trend line, going back to the low. I want to clean that up. Going back to the low over here in July 2020. I do hope that if we take out the low over here, that holds as support. And then again, whether or not someone might be looking just to accumulate as I do, right? Just when we're in the pocket, or if you're waiting for this breakout over here, and let's have the conservative line of repair visible for everyone. Let me get it. So what I'm doing right now is talking about, I think this is an opportunity here. Markets came off 38% right here today at this moment. They're off about 30%. I do not think that we're out of the woods. I hope that we are out of the woods. And what do I mean by that? When I say I hope we're out of the woods, and I want to look over here at the trend line Matt over here in a second. I mean, I hope that we like the low is in. This is the low below that trend line, the peak of wave one over here, connecting the peak of wave one to the April high. And I hope that what is happening right now, that's a breakout and a retest, and we resume out. For me, it's the break above the conservative line over here that's going to confirm. That's most likely probable at that point. And right now, up until then, things are quite, we're not out of the woods yet. I do hope that, I hope, all right, so this is, I don't mean to be contradictory. I hope that the low is in. I hope that this remains as support and that we're able to break out above that trend line. That would be the best and easiest case going forward. At the same time, if that doesn't happen and we come back down and test lower, I'm going to be really happy because I will be looking just to dollar cost average into spot and lower. Now, I'm going to hold off into one of those things happen. I could easily just step in right now where we are, 49,000, and make a purchase. Now, I'm going to hold off to either we break out the conservative trend line, which I will then make a spot purchase, or to see if we trade down lower, and then I'll be looking for a black diamond entry, and that's when I will make my spot purchase. So I just want you to know that, because I tell you each and every time I'm doing it, that and I'm not saying that you should follow or anything like that, but I feel like this is an opportunity over here. The market currently is off 30%. I am comfortable, by the way, making that spot purchase higher. If I get a technical breakout, I feel more comfortable like that. If I have the opportunity to go lower, right, as soon as we get the black diamond entry, that will be the place I lean in. And I feel very comfortable about that as well. And you can see, I think most importantly here, that there is no rush. I have no sense of FOMO. Oh, I need to do this right now because, no. It, like, in the greater scheme of things, it's not a big deal if I'm purchasing Bitcoin at 54,000 or if I purchase it here at 49. I'd rather wait because there's a lot of uncertainty out there.